She looks a little young.
How many appointments do we have today, Ethel?
Not a one. But it is the first of the month again, and guess what?
Just keep us no more than 1 month behind on any vendor, please.
You have been.
I appreciate the practice, Capitan, I do, but you could have left me.
Billy Cobb, you and Mr. Willett need to come with me.
Hell no, I ain't moving.
You know that little girl you took for a ride?
Gums, why don't you take your cold black ass out of here and grab a branch?
Unless you got an explanation for what this was doing in the bed of your truck.
You can go to hell.
What happened?
Will you give us a statement, Sheriff?
Are you in the police department?
No, I am a lawyer.
Are you Carly Haley's attorney?
All right. First things first. Briganza will file for a change of venue.
Yeah, I'd be a fool if you didn't.
Why's that?
This county's 30% black, give or take. Almost every other county is 40, 45, in some cases 70% black. The greater chance of color in the jury box, and we know what that means. But if the trial stays here, it's an all-white jury for sure. Now, Taylor, this is for you. All right, Noose is up for re-elect.
Yeah, November.
Good. Reach out to our friends in the legislature. Have them call on Judge Noose.
This is not a realistic looking courtroom. There are courtrooms that exist that look like this, but...
Now, Noose selects this panel at random. If we get too many bad candidates up front, we're sunk.
Luck of the draw.
I would prefer no one over 50, less bigotry as a rule with youth.
So we stay away from women, rednecks, and old...
Form the jury at trial. You have a large panel. Many of you have probably...
Citizens, thank you. Your counsel each have...
Your Honor, the state challenges judge.
In the case of Batson versus Kentucky, held that a prosecutor cannot use his or her peremptory strikes to strike all of the members of one race from a jury.
I've thoroughly reviewed your brief requesting a change of venue, and I agree with you. I think it's impossible to find anywhere in Mississippi. And as such, a jury here would be...
Sheriff, if you would, can you please identify this weapon?
It's the weapon found at the scene.
You're sure?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter this into evidence as Exhibit S-18. We have no...
Did you arrest Billy Ray Cobb and Pete Willard?
Yes, I did. I arrested them for the rape and attempted murder of 10-year-old Tanya Haley.
The year before, we are not trying the rape of Miss Haley today, but the murder of two young men. And if you continue in this performance...
My name is Dr. Wilbert Roadheaver, Chair of Psychiatry at Mississippi State University and Clinical Director of the Whitfield Facility for the Criminally Insane.
Standard for ensuring that your witness meets the standard for admissible evidence and being able to opine. In 60 years, the McNaughton...
Doctor, who do you work for?
State of Mississippi.
In your 11 years working for the state, how many times have you testified in trials where the insanity defense was used?
Objection, Your Honor. The good doctor cannot be asked to recall all of his testimony at these previous trials. It's absurd.
Remember.
Could it be, Doctor, that the reason you can't remember is that in 11 years and 46 trials...
I can't recall at this time.
You never have seen a defendant whom you have found insane.
I can't recall at this time.
Can you recall testifying at the trial of one Dan Baker? In 1985, you testified that Dan Baker was legally sane. The jury disagreed with you, and Mr. Baker was found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Of course not.
Then it would be fair to say that you find insane people sane for the purposes of trial.
Objection, Your Honor. This is argument.
Don't. When you find someone legally insane, they go to a mental institution. They do not go into the public. And it's true.
Haley, before you stepped outside of yourself to watch yourself shoot Mr. Willard and Mr. Cobb...
Now, Mr. Haley, answer the question.
Carly, don't answer that question. Soaked in her blood. Left to die. Can you see her? Now imagine she's white.